I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. So the Dallas Cowboys, first of all, I did not really give them much of a chance last week. The Dallas Cowboys are one of those teams that I truly never know what I'm going to get out of. Now, that honestly isn't to say that they haven't been consistently good over the last few years, because honestly they have. But in terms of the playoffs, it's one of those things where I genuinely have no idea what kind of Cowboys team I'm going to see. And unfortunately, most of the time what I'm going to see is an underperforming team that ends up not really going anywhere. So therefore, because of the past history of the Cowboys and the past history of one Tom Brady, who I'll get into a little bit later on, I picked the Buccaneers to win in my bracket last week. If you guys saw that, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check that out, by the way. But the Cowboys, of course, not only beat the Buccaneers, they absolutely steamrolled the Buccaneers. Now, to be fair, the Cowboys had a much, much more superior team than the Buccaneers did. They just did. I mean, basically at every facet, they were the better team. So is it shocking that the Cowboys went out there and dominated? No, not necessarily. However, the part that is shocking is that the Cowboys, quite frankly, have underperformed in the playoffs each and every year. And yet, this year, so far, they look exactly like they did in the regular season, which makes the most sense, but for the Cowboys, it's honestly a bit of a rarity. So I was a little bit shocked when I saw that. And now again, was I shocked in the way that, wow, I thought the Buccaneers were the better team? No, I didn't. But the Cowboys tend to choke in the playoffs every single year. But at least in their first game in the postseason this year, they did not choke. However, they are going up against the San Francisco 49ers, who I actually pegged to get this far and lose. However, now, knowing what I know, I said that Brock Purdy might be a little overwhelmed with playoff defenses and playoff football, considering how young he is, considering how inexperienced he is, and considering the fact that, quite frankly, he's not supposed to be here right now. He's not supposed to be the starting quarterback of the 49ers. It's supposed to be Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not supposed to be Brock Purdy. But Brock Purdy may have had the best performance of any quarterback in the playoffs last week. And that's saying something, because there were some really, really good performances, including one from Dak Prescott. So, am I ready to fully say that Brock Purdy has arrived and that he's going to be the starting quarterback of the 49ers next year? No, I'm not. But here's what I will say. If he wins this game and takes them to the NFC Championship game, and definitely if he ends up taking them to the Super Bowl, whether he wins or whether he loses the Super Bowl, I think at that point the 49ers are going to have a problem on their hands. But I digress. That is a video for another time. Let's get back to the Cowboys. So the Cowboys, I'm concerned. I really am concerned for how they're going to play next week. Now, the 49ers, let's be honest, 3 to 5 times better of a team than the Buccaneers are. I mean, they have more talent on defense, on offense, and unfortunately, at this point, with Tom Brady back there, again, who I'll get into a little bit more later, they might even have more consistent quarterback play at this point, which is just crazy to think about. But the Cowboys right now, they're going up against an absolute juggernaut team right now. The 49ers have looked unstoppable all year long. They've had a rotating carousel at quarterback because of injuries, and nothing seems to faze them at this point. They have great talent at all facets, and you know what? So do the Cowboys. So I think it's going to be a very, very fun game. I'm looking forward to see what happens. My prediction as to what happens, it's really anybody's call. I'm very concerned for the Cowboys. I can definitely see a world where the Cowboys get steamrolled by the 49ers. I definitely could see that. That certainly is a possibility. But I can also see a world where the Cowboys, overwhelm the young Brock Purdy, and he can't get throws off. He's getting sacked. He's throwing interceptions. I can see that as well. So certainly there's definitely two different possibilities there that I could very well see. My prediction, I'm taking the 49ers. I just still don't trust the Cowboys in the playoffs. But I'll say this. If the Cowboys beat the 49ers, I think at that point I might have to take the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl because I have already seen this team beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I have. Now, granted, they didn't have Jalen Hurts, but I've already seen them do it. I've already seen them beat that team. So it wouldn't shock me if they beat them again. Because, I mean, at this point, sorry, New York Giants, but you're not beating Philly. So for me, it's one of those things where, I really I believe that the Niners have more of a chance to beat the Cowboys than the Eagles have a chance to beat the Cowboys, even though I think the Eagles are the better team overall. I know it doesn't make sense, but matchups are really a key here, in not just football, but in any sport. So I think the Cowboys match up better against the Eagles than they do against the 49ers. That's just how I feel. Now, I could be wrong about that. We'll see. But for me, if I were the Cowboys, I'd rather face the Eagles because you faced them twice already. You know what you have. You know what they are. You know what their strengths are. 49ers are really a bit of a wild card at this point. They have a fantastic team and a quarterback who's played absolutely lights out, but at any point could show that he's a rookie and play horrible. So it's one of those things where, you never really know what's going to happen. So I'd rather face the Eagles if I were the Cowboys than the 49ers because, again, the 49ers, you just don't really know what's going to happen. So for me, is this the Cowboys' year? No, I don't think it is. I don't really think any year for the rest of time is going to be the Cowboys' year. But no, in all seriousness, I don't think it's this year. I think the Niners and the Eagles are both just a hair better than they are. Is there a world where they make it to the Super Bowl? Sure, of course. But for me, I'm taking the 49ers to beat them this week, and it's going to be an absolute slugfest between the Niners and the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, and that is something that I am very, very much looking forward to.
Hey guys, me again. Thank you so much for watching one of my clips from the Lopes Goes Last podcast. These clips are so much fun to do. I absolutely love making them and I absolutely love doing them. And this podcast is my baby. So I really want this thing to grow and I really want it to succeed. So if you did like what you see, please subscribe. Also hit that bell notification so you never miss any one of my episodes or one of my clips like this one. And please do also like and share these videos with your friends and your family so that we can make this thing grow as fast as possible. And I wanted to thank you again so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great rest of your day.